matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
What's up, fam? Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the Coma. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. How y'all doing tonight? Shout out to the fam. Hope you guys get a good start off on your week. Hope you're being very productive as well. So, and the Saints are showing some level of productivity, should we say? Saints inked a wide receiver today. Now, remember, this brother here, man, that we had here, Scantling, Marquez Scantling, was a wide receiver we tried to get several years ago. And basically what happened with him was he kind of turned the Saints down to go to, I think it was the Chiefs at the time, I want to say. Because the Saints reached out to him, and he decided to go to KC, and he got a couple of rings, so it was a good business decision by him. But ultimately, he decided to come here. So we're gonna cover this scoop right here today. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the live. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Big ups to the fam. Young City, good to see your brother rolling this thing. Good to see you, E-Dub. What's happening, He says, wow, this is definitely going to save our season. All right, Michael, shout out to you. Jermaine, big ups to you. What's up, Carla? Shout out to Carla. Much love. Brother Willie Garrison, big ups to you. Good evening, sir. Or good afternoon. L-Dub, big ups to you. Good to see you. All right, can you to you. Much love. Big Valley is in this thing. Much love, man. I know it's a lot, bro. We're going to cover it. Big. What's up, Pete? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you, Jermaine, as well. Much love. OG Jerry is in this thing. Madden Goon, big ups to you. Says, why are we signing players? Yeah, hey, ask your boy Mickey, man. Hold on now, hold on now. Don't put my ass up in there. Just talk your Saints talk there. Don't say my name. All right, what's up, Tuck? Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you as well. Brother Gregory, shout out to you. 504 Code, big ups to you. Says, Q, my thing is, why not make this move earlier? Because injuries is one of the ultimate motivators, plus especially job security as well. Yeah, job security is also a major point of shaking and moving your ass. But hey, man, better late than never, right? All right, big ups to you. What's up, Michael? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. Carr, Hayner, Rattler can't pass the ball to receivers. Hey, bro. Hey, We're going to get to that, but you're on the right vein, though. All right. Big ups to you, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all do me a service and hit the like button as we get going in this broadcast. But anyway, look at this, man. Okay, Saints Inc. wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling to boost the receiver core amid struggles as well as injuries. Niles Carpenter, our Saints contributor, penned this article. Saints have made a significant move to strengthen their wide receiver group by signing veteran wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling. According to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero and Ian Rapoport, Scantling was available after being released by the Bills, who acquired Amari Cooper in trade. Saints aren't the only team that was pursuing him, as the Colts and Commanders also expressed interest, with the Saints reeling from 5 consecutive losses after a promising 2-0 start. The signing comes after a critical time, especially following a 33-10 blowout loss to Sean Payton's Denver Broncos club. Injuries have plagued the Saints offense, with star wide receiver Chris Olave out with concussion, Rashid Shaheed knee surgery done for the year. Shaheed expected to miss the rest of the season, leaving the Saints in dire need of a veteran presence. Now, Valdes-Scantling brings a wealth of experience, including back-to-back Super Bowl appearances with the Chiefs and the career-best 690 receiving yards with the Pack. Known for his speed, he can stretch the field and take advantage of single coverage when Olave returns to the lineup. With Derek Carr nursing an oblique injury and Spencer Rattler stepping in, Valdes-Scantling will be tasked with helping the Saints rebound and compete in the NFC South. Valdes-Scantling is renowned for his deep threat ability, having run a 4.37. That's right. Scantling, not just a tall wide receiver. He's 6'4", but also has good 40 time, 4.37 in the 40 at the combine. So he's a big guy that can't move, kind of the veteran upgrade of what you would see A.T. Perry as, right? So very interesting. Throughout his career, he's averaged an impressive 17 yards per catch. And if the Saints play this right, you know, and we're going to talk about this, this could possibly be a good move. He joins the depleted Saints receiving core that currently features Chris Olave, Cedric Wilson Jr., Mason Tipton, Bud Means, with Jermaine Jackson, Equimia St. Brown, Dante Pettis, and Kevin Austin Jr. on the practice squad. This addition gives the Saints some speed and vertical threat they desperately need. They look to turn the season around. And here's a kind of a table here of all the wide receivers, as you can see. Chris Olave and then Cedric Wilson, Rashid Shaheed. Like Scantling is a need. We definitely could use his veteran experience being there. He'll be, and I would say he's a terrific complement to a Chris Olave. He's a big guy that can move, a big guy that can get the 50-50 ball. He also can stretch the field. It is a very solid move. This was something maybe the Saints, you know, could have did in the offseason. This would have been the move you were looking for instead of going for Cedric Wilson Jr. Just saying. But anyway, it's all good. The team got it. They made it pop. They made it shake. We got the guy. So what can the Saints do? I applaud the signing of Scantling. Why the hell not? It's a good move. But it does not cure the Saints' offensive line issues. You know, we still need help at the O-line. Scantling does give a good wide receiver compliment for Chris Olave once he returns from the concussion protocol. But Spencer Rattler looking like he'll be starting for the game against the Chargers. And, of course, AK-41, Jamal Williams, Kendre Miller, Chris Olave coming back. So you have Scantling there with Chris Olave and perhaps Mason Tipton or Bud Means, whoever the sly guy is. It helps the receiving core, it really does. Only problem is the Saints' issues are with the offensive line. Now, it does help, but we need more. We need some help in the interior offensive line. Nick Saldiveri, Lucas Patrick appears to be on par to come back. Cesar Ruiz still looking like he's going to be out. Landon Young and Nick Saldiveri have not performed well inside of that offensive line. They haven't. They can't run the ball consistently, and it's a problem. We can't get into our play action bag. So all this time is passing. I was hoping that the Saints could do something in terms of help our offensive line as well as acquire a really solid wide receiver like Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Applaud the move, but we need more help there. We really do, man. Scantling's good, but we need some more help there. So averaging 17 yards per catch, that's not a bad thing for Scantling, man. To have a guy like that doing that for it, because like I said, that helps us in so many ways to have him here. And he's still what? How old is he? Scantling, how old is he? Still a very young wide receiver, got championship experience. And to be honest with you, the Saints really love going after these former Kansas City guys, man. They have been productive for the Saints. We got a boatload of former KC guys here. So he'll fit right in here, just like the rest of these guys, the Tyrann Matthews, Bink Saunders, who else we got that came over from Kansas City? Bink, Passanio, Willie Gay. So we do have a couple of guys that came over from Kansas City that are ballers for us. So we bring this guy here, and it'll help. We just have to get that running attack going. So that should be something we need to focus on. We need to run the ball to have success. All right. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate you. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Saints getting Scantling. Like I said, I applaud the move because it's a good move. It's a smart move. But at the end of the day, let's keep the stuff going. We need help interiorly speaking. We need to get these offensive line inside here. This Nick Saldiveri guy and this Landon Young guy. These guys are not what's up. Just gonna tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. These guys, the Saldiveris and the Landon Youngs, they ain't cutting the mustard. They're not doing a damn thing to move this ball. Anyway, let's keep it moving, man. Let's jump on to this next article. I'm gonna hold y'all along on this show, man. We got another stream popping up, the Pelican Post Game Report a little later on. Let's get into this article right here. NFL exec rips Saints for doubling down on older, declining players on the salary cap. How about that? Let's go right on into it by Mr. Zach Bachar. I hope I'm saying that there, Bachar. Despite handing out contracts to several veterans, and of course, look, they got Cam sitting up there. Y'all remember Bobby Hebert? And I swear what Bobby Hebert was going to do was he was going to ask Mickey Loomis about that whole situation about, in the NFL, sometimes the game passes us by and And I think he lost his nerve. And then he turned to Cam Jordan. I'm like, hold on, Cam Jordan's a freaking reserve most of the time. What are we talking about? He lost his goddamn nerve. He lost his damn nerve because he was gonna ask him, "Hey man, a lot of people believe and of course you're gonna throw it on the support base, but a lot of the supporters believe, that you're beyond your time, that you passed your prime." They would have set old Mickey off. Well, hold on, goddammit. Do I come to your old folks' home and kick over your chessboard? Your checker set. Do I do that to you, Bobby? Oh, I know. I'll come to your old folks' home and kick over your chess set. That would have set old man Mickey off on that one, man. So he just kind of made that curveball move to Cam. That would have been funny, though. All right. Despite handing out contracts to several veterans, the Saints currently sit at 2-5 through 7 weeks. The Athletic's Mike Sando spoke to an NFL executive who called the Saints situation, quote, bad place, end quote, to be due to the lack of future cap flexibility. And he says, when you are doubling down on older, declining players, it's just a bad place to be in, the exec said. Sando noted that Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, Taysom Hill, and Ryan Ramczyk are scheduled to count nearly $70 million against the Saints salary cap in 2025. All players are over 30 years old, with Ramczyk out for the season, while the other 4 players haven't been able to prevent New Orleans' current 5-game losing streak. The Saints are projected to be over $81 million above the salary cap in 2025. This is over the cap. The New Orleans initially appeared to be on the verge of a breakout season, winning 2 straight games to open the year and scoring 91 total points over that span. The Saints responded with 3 straight defeats before starting quarterback Derek Carr suffered an oblique strain against the Chiefs, and rookie Spencer Rattler has replaced him under center. But New Orleans has been outscored 84-37 in 2 games with the first-year pass. So that looked like a bad basketball score. And then, of course, as we keep it moving, if head coach Dennis Allen's team can't bounce back, the Saints will be on the verge of missing the playoffs for a 4th consecutive season. So this is an article written here by the writer, and of course, he mentions the players. He mentions these players: Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, Taysom Hill, and Ryan Ramczyk. This is the window. We talked about it on the call-in stream the other day, fam, on Sunday when we did our little whenever we did our stream, our 5.5-hour stream. We talked about the window. Brother Prime called in, and I pulled up the information from over the cap that kind of give you some indication. We broke down the Derek Carr contract, and people say, can we just get rid of Derek Carr? And I was showing them, listen, fam, all that sounds good and even make you feel good, but at the end of the day, it's not reality. When he reworked the contract, it's certain protections in there where you can't. It's like a security mechanisms that's placed in there, which these high dead money figures detoured the team from even thinking about or considering releasing a man. You take a 50+ million cap hit, or dead cap hit, or $60 million. There's nowhere they're going to do that, and you're not going to trade him. You stuck with him. Even when he was signing with the Saints in free agency, it was just a couple of teams that had the interest to give him that kind of money. And the Saints, because of Dennis Allen, wanted this man here. Now you're stuck with him. So a lot of people keep asking me, can we get rid of Derek Carr? The answer is no. You stuck with Derek Carr, at least for the next couple of years. Even if we fire Dennis Allen, hell, even if you fire Mickey Loomis, which it won't happen, but even if you get rid of those guys, you still saddled with Derek Carr's contract. So in the end, that's the reality of it. Now, before we move to this article, the next piece, which is basically going to do the look at this depth chart here, actually the cap situation, which currently over the cap has it at $2.3+ million. Now, we don't know yet because the particulars of Valdes-Scantling's contract has not been released yet. So we don't know how much the Saints are offering him and if it's a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal or whatever. But remember, he had takers and he chose the Saints over the Colts and the Commanders. Now, I wonder if Jaden Daniels hadn't got hurt, what he would have did. If Jaden Daniels wasn't hurt, he would be a Commander. I promise you that much. But anyway, the guy's here. So eventually all that'll be released down the line. We'll figure exactly how much Scantling's contract will be. And I'm pretty sure the Saints had to rework the contract or rework something to be able to put it together. Now, with some of the window, like we talked about, the guy made mention of the players, the older players. And the exec was talking about how, criticizing the Saints for paying these older players money. This is a philosophy the Saints always did. They did this when Drew Brees was here. That's a philosophy of Mickey Loomis. That's his brainchild. He's not good at adjusting from period to period. So instead of like drafting really solid players, like this is a quarterback driven league, and the Saints did take 2 quarterbacks over the last 2 years. But to be honest with you, Jake Haener, I promise you, Jake Haener doesn't have a, he's not the future quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Let's just keep it all the way funky. His support network that was here with him when they drafted him, a lot of those guys aren't here anymore. Thus, they drafted another quarterback in Spencer Rattler, which his support network is here. Now, if Dennis Allen doesn't make it and you get another guy coming here, does he? Does they then take Dale? It's just crazy. But that's the tumultuous nature of how the Saints are running the team. Mickey Loomis did a very poor job in moving from one era to the next. And what I mean by that is he had an opportunity to move from Drew Brees, who they kept around way too long. There was no shape and form Drew Brees should have stayed late into his 40s when he was having these injuries on the back end of his career. And you had guys like Teddy Bridgewater and Jameis Winston that had to step in there and play a lot of games. Because Drew Brees, and then you bring Taysom Hill in because Drew couldn't even throw the ball downfield. That's why Taysom came in to be the quarterback and do that play style, because Drew couldn't throw the ball downfield. And so instead of replacing Drew Brees, the Saints just said, we can just create a deep ball throwing Taysom, which Taysom throws a deep ball, but he didn't have much accuracy on it. He would be out there throwing freaking punts. He didn't have much of a touch. But anyway, they didn't do a good job of moving from one era to the next. And now that was the same thing with Sean Payton. Instead of bringing in fresh new ideologies, fresh new people to make the decision, he chose to stick with these people. And then instead of doing his own homework, he let Sean Payton tell him which coach to hire, as opposed to him going find another guy. He was lazy. And he was lazy for a long time because he was stuck with the same head coach for 17 years. So all he did was hire in the building. And then he did this mock shit that didn't work. But anyway, while that was going on, the Saints drafted poorly. They didn't draft well enough. And some of the players they did draft, they didn't develop them well enough to be able to contribute in a manner which could have kept the Saints right where they needed to be. You know, they didn't do a good job. Now, they had good players that they picked up, but that's only half the equation. If you bring in players, you still have to bring in guys. And then you have to train these guys, get them in the system, give them all of the reps, and make them do what they do. Like Zach Bowen. Zach Bowen's another dude the Saints brung in. They traded up to go and get Zach Bowen and then drafted Zach Bowen and say that we were going to do this with Zach Bowen. They didn't do it. And then at the last year, they finally started doing a little bit of what they said they were going to do in Zach Bowen's rookie year. Zach Bowen up there in Philadelphia tearing it up. So it wasn't his talent. So what was the problem? It's the Saints. It's all about how you use these players. That's what it comes down to. Because a lot of the scouts, they're not wrong on some of these players. It's just when a scout says, look, this guy can do this guy can do that, but the scout ain't in there training the guy. That's why it's imperative that your organization be on the same footing. Because if the scout goes out and see the player and gives the coaches the scouting reports and the picks and whatever they want to do to information on the player, and they draft the player, the scout ain't in there training the player. That's the coaches. So their eyes to the coaches, and the coaches are tasked with the job to bring out whatever talents the players have so that they can adjust to help the team as soon as they can. Because as soon as these guys get in the door, they on the time clock that quick. You don't have forever in the day to sit up here and play around with these guys. You got to be able to shorten their curve and make sure they become as impactful as they possibly can. Now, how did the Saints make it work for so long? Well, while they was funking it up on the draft side, they was scoring 5-point stars on the undrafted side. Don't forget about that caveat. Don't forget about that caveat. The Saints are well known throughout the undrafted circuit as one of the best teams, if not the best team, for undrafted talent to come if they want to try to start or contribute to an NFL franchise. The Saints are one of the best, if not the best. They're known for taking undrafted players and turning them into stars, and some of them into Pro Bowlers or starters, rather, but some into solid contributors and starters. Juwan Johnson, it's a laundry list of them. Juwan Johnson, who was a wide receiver converted to tight end, he's starting for you. He ain't doing the best job, but he's solid when his mind right. You got guys like Rashid Shaheed, who's a Pro Bowler, wide receiver starter, and ultimate guy that really can turn the game around for you. Undrafted. And you have others like JT Gray, who's a phenom in the special teams. You got Anthony Orgy, who's really doing a hell of a job for you. One of the biggest ones we got right now is Carl Granderson, undrafted, playing better than some of the drafted guys. Carl Granderson's playing better than guys that are top 5 picks like Chase Young. He got the money. He's outplaying the first of top 5. Chase Young was like second in the draft when he came out. He had all these accolades out of Ohio State. He was a bona fide star coming out of college. Not Carl Granderson. Carl Granderson had to get it from out of the mud. Carl went to jail, got out of jail, and then earned his way up the depth chart to become a starting level defensive end in the NFL. So what I'm saying is the Saints have a terrific resume of taking undrafted guys and turning them into something. Undrafted kicker, undrafted punter, undrafted wide receivers, undrafted running backs, undrafted linemen, undrafted D linemen, undrafted linebackers. The team lit cornerbacks like Rico Payton. They littered with these undrafted guys. That's how the Saints remain competitive. Think about it. And every now and again, they'll hit on one of these starters or these first round guys. But you have undrafted guys that's outperforming your picks. Carl Granderson is outperforming Peyton Turner. He's outperforming Isaiah Foskey. These are first and second round draft picks. You get what I'm getting at? So how the Saints are really staying competitive to some degree is due to the undrafted side of things. So where one side is failing, another side is succeeding. So, but imagine if they got it right, but they got the undrafted guys, because that's how they got to build the team. People say, Q, how are we going to be competitive? It's quite simple. How you going to be competitive? You're going to have to wait until the declining players that this NFL executive is ripping the Saints for, and they don't name the executive that Mike Sando speaks to. But these highlighted players, Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, Taysom Hill, and Ryan Ramczyk, I'll have to check on Ramczyk, but I know for a fact Cam, Demario, and Tyrann and Taysom all have 2 years remaining on their contract. And he's right. They all count $70-something million against us. That's where all the money is going to come from. When their contracts are gone, you're still going to be sacked with voided money and some dead money. But that disappears. A great deal of that disappears by 2026. And then you just explode out of the cap. Now, let me show you, like I'm going to show you all this once again. I showed this to some of the family members the other day. This is a look into the future. This is like a money crystal ball in terms of the Saints. This is currently the Saints' money right now, according to SportTrack, all over the cap, which is just over $2.3 million. Now let's jump into 2025. You can see that the number goes up quite largely. You are 81.4 plus in the red that you are over the cap thanks to Mickey Loomis. You're $81 million in the red. Now let's say the cap goes up 25 or 30 million. You're still a 50 plus million in the red that you got to renegotiate and work back to get money just to compete in free agency. Right? This is why Mickey Loomis told you at the start of 2024 that they weren't going to be making a lot of moves in bringing people in. And what they're doing right now, they're forced to, because of the injuries in the 5-game losing streak, to remain competitive. They got to turn it around, right? That's what you're facing next year. And then in 2026, what happens? It goes to $36 million. So you're in the black again at 36. Now, this number could be impacted depending on what the Saints do in 25. So you could see probably 36 million drop a bit if the Saints kick a little bit more into 36 in 2026, which they will do because they don't have enough money. Even if the cap is $40 million, it's still $40 million or $41 plus million that you have to deal with. But to function, you still have to rework contracts and kick that money into 2026, which will then drive this 36 plus mil down. And you're really not going to see true relief until 2027, when all the money, all those contracts to Taysom Hill and all them people are off your team, Derek Carr, all these people. And then what's going to end up happening is, as you can see here, it shows you. You see, based on, because they negotiating with Kamara, that's the next contract to come out. You see Kamara's voided years, Lattimore, Jordan, Derek Carr, Ramczyk, Taysom Hill, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, Jamal Williams, Colin Sanders, Foster Monroe, Jawan Johnson, JT Gray, Chase Young, Passanio. You see all these contracts. Active, you got 28 people on your roster according to the data from 24. So they just tabulating everything. So you got basically $217 million. And you don't have much of a team. So you got to go and build again. So the window is set for the next 2 years, they say, based on the contracts of Elvin Kamara and all these other, I mean, not Kamara, but Cam and all these others. That's where the money is. So how does you work it back to the black? That's what he said, 2 years. Really, in essence, it's not going to be 2 years. It's going to be more like 3 years, but he always dials it back. It'll be more like 3 years. So you're not going to really see that relief until 27 hit. So you're looking at 3 years of cap hell from 24, 25, 26 with the Saints. So like I said, man, this is something just to prepare you, because this is the money of football, and there is no football on the field without the money being right. This is what's going on. So people talk about Derek Carr, can we get rid of Derek Carr? And that's why I always say your best result is to try to work with Mr. Carr and get him into the play action, because there is no getting rid of Derek Carr. In 24, they renegotiated his contract to free up more money in free agency, dropping his base salary to 1.2. Next year, balloons back to where it usually would be, which is $30 million. And then in 2026, in his final playing year, it balloons to $50 million. He'll be 35 years of age with a $50 million quarterback. Where you going to go with that? Who wants a $50 million quarterback at 35 years of age? Nobody. Well, just go ahead on and cut him, Q. Get rid of him. Well, look at the cap hit you'll take. 61.4 plus mil in the cap hit. Forget about it. You better hold on. This is the money. This is what Dennis Allen, Mickey Loomis. So even if you get rid of Dennis Allen, you still have a lot of the money issues that you'll be inflicted by. So the answer is, how can we get good football out of the team currently constructed? Well, the answer is you got to run the ball. That's the reality is. I applaud the Scantling move, getting Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That I applaud that move, because it is the move that the Saints should have done during free agency. Instead of getting Cedric Wilson, they should have got Scantling, or tried to make a move for Scantling, or a player like Scantling, because he's a big guy that'll work really well with Chris Olave. But the problem is, if your offensive line can't offer protection for the quarterback to get the ball down there, don't really do you no good to just have another player here that just get pissed off at you because he can't get the ball. So, like I said, the Saints have to tune up the interior offensive line, and we have to have a new attitude, Patty LaBelle, some shit, right, to be able to get around some of this stuff. So that's why I be telling people about a lot of this stuff dealing with the black and gold is all indicative of your personnel. You got to work with what you have. And the biggest thing for me, for the Saints to get back to winning, is they have to run the ball, which means they have to fix the interior offensive line. We have to fix it. We're not getting back guys like Eric McCoy anytime soon. They're going to have to find a way. And we've had these guys, some of these guys, like Nick Saldiveri, Landon Young's been here since he was a rookie. A lot of these Ali Udo and all these other guys have been here for a while, and most of them have been here since summer in OTAs and everything, running the same plays. They shouldn't look this bad. They shouldn't look this bad. They look unprepared, and that must change. We can't have that kind of behavior, as a running game. It's just too much for stakes, too much up for grabs, or actually up for state right now for the Saints, because, man, it's looking kind of rough. It's looking kind of rough for the Saints. And like I said, that's why I added this little clip right here. It's kind of getting a little hectic, man. It's getting kind of hectic. They better run the ball. But anyway, listen, fam, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being here. There is a poll in the chat right now. Will the Saints beat the Chargers? Over 119 people voted at the poll. Will the Saints beat the Chargers? Guess what? 65% of the family members say no. Damn. Wow. 65%? That's crazy. That's crazy. 65% of the people say, hell no, Q. They're not going to beat the Chargers. I don't know if I can get with you on that. I don't know, fam. If they can't run the ball, they're going to lose, right? So I guess you're right. If the Saints can't run the ball, 65% says no, and 35% says yes. Wow. Damn. But thank you for the truth, Who Dat Nation. Thank you for the truth. Oh my God, boy, we got KB says we don't believe. Yeah, I know, because you people that you guys believe in results. Well, hold on now, you guys supposed to believe. You're supposed to believe with all of your mighty might. You're supposed to believe. No, Mickey, we're not going to believe. You need results, brother. People then did that for you. That's the thing, man. You can't keep asking people to be foolish, man. You're trying to give them all this spiritual energy to nonsense, man. They're not going for that because they're not slipping on their stuff for their support. They're not late with their money to the dome, to the concessions, to the parking. You know, they're not late on their money, but they got to sit up here with all this. Them people trying to make money, they got a lot of nerve. Like they say, they got a lot of nerve. They got a lot of nerve, man. They're trying to make money as easily as they possibly can, despite the fact that the team is losing. They try to make money. No, do not let them make it. Do turn up the heat. Turn the heat all the way up. Turn it all the way up on them. Because I'm showing y'all the money is not just what I'm saying, because the football is one thing, but the team is locked into a certain monetary situation for the next 3 years. It's not 2 years, it's 3 years. Now the window for the team to win is 2. But the money situation don't subside until 3 years. So that's an extra year after the contracts of the Taysums and the people like that are gone. You don't see the relief until an extra year after that. We talking 27. It's 24 right now. You got 25 and 26 to get there, to get to 27. If God say the same. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, the money and the contracts and all this, the Saints money is all tied up. And that's why Mickey Loomis is pent to dealing with what he's dealing right now, because he understands the monetary situation. And the plan was to put this rendition of the team together, and they're thinking that this team is enough to at least get to the playoffs, whether they get to the Super Bowl or not. Because we didn't hear since Dennis Allen get here, not one time in my recollection, I've heard Dennis Allen tell anybody that, hey man, the Saints, we trying to get this team to the Super Bowl. Put one in the chat. Let me know if you heard. I'm gonna pause for a second on that. I want y'all to tell me if you ever heard Dennis Allen tell either one of y'all, everybody listening, put it in the chat. Did you ever hear Dennis Allen tell you, or the Saints, whether it was him or Mickey Loomis, tell you in an interview, radio, television, or otherwise, that the Saints is a team they trying to get to the Super Bowl? Did any of you guys hear that? I've always heard playoffs, because that's the thing. They get to the playoffs, that to them would be a win. That way they could say, yeah, man, we got to the playoffs. The best we can do is get to the playoffs. Did anybody, the 120 plus listening, put it in the chat right now? Tell me, did you hear that from listening to Mickey or Dennis Allen? Did you guys hear that? Did you hear it? I've never heard Dennis Allen said he's trying to get the Saints to the Super Bowl. I never heard that from these people. How you trying to get them somewhere you don't even much want to say where you going? And we know that sound like when you talk about pronouncing something, say it with your mouth and accept it in your heart, and in your mind it'll be a reality. These people don't even do that. Did any one of you guys hear that? This scene mention that yeah, we're trying to get to the Super Bowl. I ain't talking about the players. I'm talking about the coach. It got to be in the coach's heart and mind. He got to be in his mouth. He has to be able to say it. Like, man, we playing for big stakes. We trying to get to the Super Bowl. I've never heard that. I heard playoffs. It's a difference between playoffs and getting to the championship. They got different names. If you really believe you want to be a Super Bowl. Now, I said Super Bowl insofar as talent. Saints do have the talent to get to the Super Bowl. That don't mean they're going to get to the Super Bowl because I say they got talent, because everybody got talent too. It's what you do with your talent. This is a half. This is another half. And 2 halves make a whole. So to have the players is one part of the recipe. The other part of the recipe is the coaching and the direction, the instruction makes the whole. And that's how you get there. I've not heard that. So yes, see, Duke says no. Okay, thank you, Duke. Rising 2012 says no. All right. Slim said the cleanup man. All right. Backwood says no. All right. Carla says no. Trap Star, L Dub, Michael. Look at that. Jack says playoffs. Bullet says no. 504 hell no. Slim says no. Joseph says no. I'm telling you, man, I've not heard that. I remember when they tried to sign Watson. Yeah, and Watson never was going to sign with the Saints. He was using the Saints as leverage to try to form a super team in Atlanta. And I seen the play what he was doing, and I told the Saints, I did shows and told the Saints, I did a show from my car and told the Saints, break off this discussions from this dude because he's using the team, the Saints, as leverage to draw people to Atlanta so he could try to build a super team until Cleveland stepped in and gave him that stupid money. That's what was going on. He never had any intentions to get here. St. John, what's up, bro? Says no. They are playing in your face. They are playing in our faces. They are. Hell no. 9. No, they didn't. None of this happened. Yeah. I'm telling you straight off. I'm telling you straight up. None of it. Michael says it'll be sad if injured players slowly come back. Week after, we're going to lose each game by 3 points. Never heard it. And the thing is, it's tough, man. With a 5-game losing streak, it helped us out that Atlanta lost to Seattle. You got a matchup going on tonight that's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're in the second quarter with 4:42 remaining. They're up on Baltimore 10-7. So you would need Tampa to lose and the Saints to win. That way, if Tampa wins, they climb. They got the tiebreaker. Then you start needing people to help you because you can't clean your own house. You got to hire people to do your work for you because you're incompetent. You can't do your own work. You can't win games for you. So you got to hope and pray that other teams are not as competent, that they're as inept as you are as a team. And I'm not talking to the great Saint Think Tank. I'm talking to the Saints. So when the family base, support base hopes for other teams to lose and hope they're as trifling as our squad is, that's when we start getting into that kind of energy. It just drags us all down, doesn't it? Well, I hope they lose. Come on. Yeah. If they do it right, they deserve the win, whether it's whoever. And I know it hurts some people to hear that, but that's the truth. If you do it right, you deserve the win. If you do it right, you deserve the win. We want the Saints, all these other people to start losing because the Saints, but that don't guarantee the Saints going to get anywhere. They still got to win games. And like I said, this is a lot. This is called a mini bye. The Saints played on Thursday. They had all that extra time. And I like Scantling's hire, but the Saints need help offensive interior line. How do we not have tryouts or bring in offensive linemen to compete for the job inside until we get our guys back or whatever the case may be? How do we didn't do that? I mean, we can't run the ball. That's the problem. We had extra time to go and find linemen. Don't you see that you can't run the ball? Can't you see it? It's just amazing, man. Do they actually see that they can't run the ball? I see it. They watch the same film, the all 22s we watch. The all 22 show the Saints can't run the ball and they can't stop the run. I hear all the platitudes about, well, we got to play better as a team. You see, you understand, family. Listen, we here at the New Orleans Saints organization. We on the field. We got to do a better job of of stopping the run. This is not what our standard is. This is not what Saints football is. We got to do everything we can to change it around. If I'm sitting at the front door today, tomorrow I got to try to go and sit in the middle of the building. If I go into the cafeteria and get some grapes and some salad and some sparkling water instead of sitting where I sat for the last 5 games. I gotta sit somewhere else. Instead of shaving, what I gotta do is not shave. And we just gotta change it up. We just gotta look at it like that, because this is not Saints football. We gotta change it all around and then fix it all the way around and be positive while we doing it. We just gotta change it all up. That's what it sounds like to me when I hear him talking. It doesn't make any sense. You know, if it's not hard. If the team is out here losing games because they're getting ran on, because the Saints, like Jeff Duncan, shout out to him, put that great stat up on there about how the Saints are allowing 5.4 yards rushing per contest. That is the highest total in franchise history. That's unacceptable. That means they're getting roundly beaten. That's not one game. They are systematically getting broken down by every majority of all those teams that ran on the Saints and compound massive amounts of yardage on the Saints. I mean, I'm talking 140, 200-yard rushing campaigns. You're just falling apart, getting ran on. Soft in the middle. And somebody mentioned that to me on another show. It says, Q, when David Onyemata left, and even Big Shy Tut, King Tut, when he was here, they wasn't doing that. You replace them with Bink Saunders and Nate Shepard, and them guys are just not it. And Brian Bursi's a terror, but he ain't all that on the run support. He getting better. But you gotta do more than sit somewhere else and not shave. You gotta be able to literally shift the lineup around. Now is the time. If you Dennis Allen, you got to start moving different people into the lineup. You got to start shifting them people around, man. You got to start taking them guys that's in there, and somebody got to come out of there, and you got to put somebody new in there starting. I'm saying you might have to find a nose tackle, your most disruptive nose tackle, not a defensive tackle that is a tweener type. You need an actual nose tackle. We got 2 on the team. Whether they're ready or not, you better start using them. You got Christian Boyd, who's a big nose tackle, and you got John Ridgway, the third they picked up. At some point, you're going to have to start rotating these guys in here to stuff up this run so DeMario Davis and them linebackers could be able to roam free to make plays, because the interior guys, they're not one of those interior men are not commanding a double team. If they're getting single block, that extra offensive lineman is going to shut off and go to the second level, block out DeMario Davis so his running back can get some room there. So one of them interior defensive linemen got to be nasty enough to command a double team. That frees DeMario Davis to play clean. He can, or the other linebacker, whoever it may be, is if it's Werner or Willie Gay, to roam around, make plays, blitz, to do whatever they got to do. It's hard to make plays when a big-ass offensive lineman, a 6'3" or 6'4", 300-pound offensive lineman, is laying hands on you, trying to push you out the way, and his running back is running right behind him. So it's tough to make plays like that. That's a big part of the game. If you watch the tape, Saints offensive linemen just getting, defensive linemen getting pushed around, interior offensive linemen getting handled too. But I mean, it's all in front of you. I don't understand what Dennis Allen, if he didn't bring any offensive linemen in here for tryouts. Scantling's good, but if you can't get time to throw to Scantling, you're going to have one more pissed off wide receiver. So we'll see what they got going on. Yeah, you can catch smoke. Yeah, you got to get some of these guys involved. You drafted Christian Boyd. We like Christian Boyd. He's 6'2", 320 pounds. John Ridgway is 6'5", 315, 320. These are big guys. You know, you got to have to rotate them big guys in there, man. That's just what you're going to do. Shepard ain't cutting it. Saunders is not cutting it. These guys are not getting it done. So you got to move guys. You got to move guys out and put guys in. That's what it goes. So we'll see if this guy on the stream to do it. All right, quick questions, man. Thank you, Pammy. Shout out to Pammy for being a member for 26 months. Much love.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Thank you, Pammy. Appreciate you as well. Much love. All right, Louisiana says, do you think Mickey stepped down in 27 once Saints are out of cap hell? Maybe he doesn't want a new general manager situation he created. I don't know, man. Mickey Loomis said in the presser this year that he might stay on for an additional 10 years. There's nobody pushing on Mickey Loomis to get on up out of here, man. That's the reality. It's like they don't tell him nothing because the people above Mickey Loomis don't know enough to say this, that, and the third. What they do understand is money. That's why I was saying economic. This is an economic issue. You simply don't go down there and give your money. Don't buy their shit no more and let them know you ain't buying this shit until you get rid of this guy and Mickey Loomis and make him step down as the general manager. You ain't trying to fire Mickey. Because the VP job, he can do that. But the manager job needs to be detached from him. He needs to lose that because time is up. I mean, how long you think he's going to be able to do the general manager job? For God's sake, come on, man. I mean, not you, Louisa. I'm talking about Lauscher, who's then a lousy guy. His name need to be Dennis Lousy because this Lauscher character is really crazy. This is really sad. What Lauscher and Gail understand is money. You take that money away, that money start falling, they get to asking questions. See, that's you talking a language. Then that's why I said you go above his head, and it's an economic boycott. They'll move whoever you want them to move after that. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You fuck too kind.
Sometimes you got to get them right, bro. Sometimes you got to spank these people, man. Economically, it's just what it is. We done put these people, gave them all this money, and they're not even listening. They can keep rolling out this shitty product. We're not taking it. We don't. I'm not a trash recycling facility. I don't believe in that. You know, I'm not trying to recycle the Saints. We sit up here hours and hours of our valuable days talking about the Saints and giving out free advice to them, and they just keep effing it up. And I'm sitting up here for years saying, "Hey, man, this, that, and the third," only for Dennis Allen to come back years later and say what I've been saying, and I was saying it 2 years prior. I mean, almost verbatim. To the point where people say, "Hey, Q, man, this dude listening." I'm like, man, it take you too. Like we said during the year that he needs to tell, what's his name? Clint Kubiak to do, about his running back, changing his plays, having more diversity. And then 2 games after I said that, Dennis Allen says almost the same shit I say verbatim. We need more diversity. We need to change it up and add more, have him to do different people. No shit, Sherlock. Welcome to the party. What are we looking at here? You know, so it gets to the point where it's real frustrating. But in the end, I do understand the big picture. And the big picture is that you got to go through a purging process to get better. We got to purge these people on out of here. And what's going to end up purging them out is their own ineptitude. That's going to get them out of here, because if you are real deal Holyfield, you should withstand the test. And ain't nobody going to be able to protect you. Mickey Loomis cannot protect Dennis Allen from being fired. If the people get on code and cut the tickets out, Gail ain't gonna play that. She gonna like, we gotta do something. Y'all messing with my money. And Dennis Allen ain't that important to my money. I'm sorry. We gotta get rid of him. You're gonna see a pissed off Mickey because Mickey Loomis don't want to listen to you. He says, I ain't gonna let those guys move me. Yeah, it's a power struggle. He don't believe, and they don't believe that you can get your shit straight, or you could be disciplined enough to form an economic boycott that will hurt them. They don't think so. They think that their position is secure, that, yeah, we got this thing set up where we going to always win. Nah, if we got to take L's, you going to take them too. You think you do. And it's all based on people. They believe in us too stupid enough to be able to get together economically to shut them down. They don't think you can do it. That's how the whole thing is set up. It's like, oh yeah, they know it. They can lie to you. They can tell you anything, and they think you're foolish enough to go for it. They think you got the memory of a squirrel because they constantly throwing shit at you. They're using all this propaganda because all they do is do propaganda techniques, lies and deceptions. They bend the truth. That's what they did. Your old boy did that when he was the president. He set up there and signed some shit in the law where they can propaganda, what's the term? Spin out a bunch of propaganda on your ass and run that out at you and make it legal to do it. It's like, hold on, what? That's supposed to be a weapon for the people on the outside. The enemy is supposedly be, but now they use it on you all the time. You hear it all the time. They all do the same stuff. You got to be able to understand and stand on business. You can't let people twist your ideologies. You can't let them twist who you are. You can't let them confuse your thinking. You can't let them confuse who you are, because that's what they're doing. It's all bullshit, cheap garbage, stale skin ass, rotten ass, garbage ass propaganda techniques. They don't think you can get it together to affect them, which they wrong. They wrong, but they have faith that you can't get it together. We done did this before. There's examples in history, all throughout history, of people getting together. Like I mentioned, the civil rights stuff on the bus stuff. They shut the buses down. It's like, we don't give a damn what you say. You don't have to ride the bus. And then after a little while, when people were carpooling and walking to work, riding bikes and shit, they was begging them people, you can drive the bus if you want to. They was trying to sell a bus company to them. Like I said, man, you could play games with the people, man. Some of them people, yeah, you got them. Because I could say all this real true shit and it'll go in one ear and out the other because ain't nothing stopping it. But at the end of the day, it'll only take a certain percentage of people to shut you down, to hurt you where it hurt. It hit you where it hurt. But anyway, man, let me get on, listen to this dude. Here's Dennis Allen, fam. Let's see what he's talking about here, because at the end of the day, Dennis Allen is the man with the plan, right? Let's see what he got to say.
You all already had to visit with Marquez Valdes-Scantling, or at least there was a visit that was.
He's here right now. Yeah.
What was it that stood out to you about him?
Well, I had a good workout this morning. I mean, ran around pretty good. I'm going to visit with him here in just a minute as soon as we get done. So, but yeah, I think so far it's been a good visit.
And he's got to be on tied to at least a couple times via reports and things like that. But is there something about him that you all have identified?
Well, look, he's played in our league. He's a bigger receiver, got a good speed element to him. I think he's somebody that, can fit some of the things that we, might be needing, in particular with the loss of Shaheed, another speed element, I think is something that we would consider.
There's a guy who is fast and jump up the charts. I think it was his third start, but Anthony Orji, I mean, he had a good game against Denver. It seemed like he's around the ball a lot. Always in the right place, right time. He's made a lot of progress from last year.
Yeah, he's made a ton of progress since last year. He's done some good things. He's probably played a little bit more than we would have, originally had anticipated. And I think that's part of the obviously there's a lot of negatives to, when you have guys go down, but you have an opportunity for some young guys to step up, get some valuable playing experience. And so that's been good to see him be able to take advantage of those things.
How are things progressing with Derek Tucker?
They're progressing well. He had a throwing session today. He'll have another throwing session tomorrow. We'll see where he's at.
You guys play with Spencer, is that on the
No, the plan would be to stay with Spencer. And I think Spencer has done some good things. I mean, obviously there's some rookie mistakes. Got to do a better job of protecting the football. That would be probably the biggest, thing that we have to do a better job of. But, I felt like when you go back and you watch the tape and he's got protection, I thought he did a good job of throwing the football. I thought he created some things with his feet. He was accurate when he was outside the pocket. So I see a lot of really good things out of that player. We have to eliminate some of the negative plays. And I think if he can do that, then I think, like I said, I think he's done some good things.
Was Derek able to torque and everything?
Yeah, he's getting there.
Because Chris going through
He's still under protocol. Yeah.
But the soft tissue stuff, did anything change from last year to this year? Last year was an average number, and this year is the highest.
Yeah, no, I don't. There really hadn't been a whole lot, that's changed. And I don't know that we can put our finger on, one thing in particular. I think we're still working through those things, and hopefully we can, begin to minimize those things as much as possible.
How is Warner progressing so far with his hamstring injury?
He's doing well. I'm expecting, that we'll have some guys coming back this week, but we'll see, how it goes throughout the course of the week.
Did you practice today or have a bonus session?
Today was a bonus meeting session. A lot of meetings to cover a lot of different things.
Vince, do you have the opportunity to do a bunch of self-scouting this weekend with the staff?
Yeah, well, look, I think in particular defensively, identifying a few areas that we have to, be better at. Our communication, I think, needs to be better. I think that has to start with me. Our execution, knowing what to do, knowing how to do it. I think that's an area that we need to improve on. I think, just the physicality and the violence of the game, I think that's an area that we can still improve on. And so those are just areas that, I looked at and identified things that we have to do better at. Look, I thought we made an improvement, in terms of our tackling in this game. We didn't have any physical opportunity to tackle this past week in practice. And yet I think we had 6 missed tackles in the game, which is, pretty significantly reduced from where we were, a week before. And so a lot of that has to do with just, mindset and mentality.
What is improving physicality and balance? What is that?
Well, I just think our strike and shed on all levels of our defense has to be better. It has to be better up front. It has to be better at the linebacker position. It has to be better in the secondary. And like I said, look, we've done those things at times. We have not done that very well in the last few weeks, and we got to get back to doing those things.
You're looking at the run game and in particular defensive run game. Have there been any things that like kind of consistently stood out with that?
I think the things that I just talked about. I mean, like communication, execution, strike, shed. I think those are areas that we have to improve on.
Are you about to be tested as much as you will all season by the Chargers run game?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously they're committed to the run game. I think they do a good job in the run game. They scheme things up pretty well. So yeah, it'll certainly be a test for us.
How much have you seen Khalil McKinstry grow since that first start he had against that?
Yeah, look, I think every day he gets out here and gets a chance to compete. I think he does. I think he improves. I think there's still, some areas that he can work to improve. The thing I like about him is that he doesn't mind competing. He's not afraid to get out there and challenge. And so, look, his role will increase with the Debo going down. So he'll play a lot more plays, and I'm, quite frankly, I'm kind of excited about watching him play.
Safe to assume he'll be the starter opposite Marshall Lattimore right now moving forward.
No, Lontae Taylor will start outside. Unless we're in nickel, and then Lontae will stay in the nickel role, and Kool-Aid will come outside.
Dennis, you said you had a lot of meetings today. Anything that would constitute a change in how you would normally operate, like a different kind of meeting, a different kind of message that was sent today?
No.
A normal Monday after Thursday.
No. I just think there's a lot of things that we have to correct, a lot of things that we have to improve on, in all three phases. And so I think that's what today's about, is trying to make those corrections. And then we got to come out and, have good practice on Wednesday.
Salisbury's shoulder injury, was that at all related to the injury he had last year?
I don't know the answer to that.
And getting a whole, potentially a couple guys back on the offensive interior, how much could that help him?
Yeah, look, I think that would help a lot. I think, being able to solidify the interior of the offensive line, I think, is something that we need to do. And so if we're able to get, some of these guys back, I think that'll help us in terms of being able to do that.
Dennis, I know it's unavoidable sometimes, but
So that's the plan is
some of the missed tackles.
the plan, because that's what they're asking about Dennis Allen. What the plan is in terms of how we trying to get some of these guys back from the offensive line standpoint. Me personally, I wouldn't just wait on that, because if you're waiting for these guys to come back, and it ain't McCoy, you're thinking about Cesar Ruiz, who's still dealing with a knee issue. He's still listed as out. Lucas Patrick is a guy that they've been losing, but really Lucas Patrick, he played well, but Lucas Patrick should be a backup. I'm not going to tell you no difference. I think Patrick should be a backup. He did well when everybody was healthy, but he's been in and out of the lineup too over the last several weeks. And then you still have to address the fact that these linemen, these backup offensive linemen, shouldn't be on the team. How is Ali Udo still here? How poorly he's looked. Like, if I'm, I don't care what Mickey Loomis is saying. You can't believe Mickey Loomis if you're Dennis Allen. You have to be coaching with reckless regard insofar as like bringing in personnel, just doing whatever you got to do, turning over whatever you need to turn over to make sure that the team has what it needs, because the Saints obviously need better backups. Even if you let Nick Saldiveri hang around for a while, you still have to go and find better backup offensive linemen. You got to go into the practice squads. You got to look around. And we brought in Scantling. They got veterans out there that could help you. But once again, the cap situation is messed up. So they would have to restructure to do it. And the thing is, even if he stopped restructuring right now, you still 3+ years away from seeing significant, payback, or if you want to term it that, your cap situation getting back to what it was, like having a significant amount of money back to you, won't happen until 2027. But be that as it may, a backup offensive lineman is not going to break the bank. You got to some kind of way figure a way to find better backups. I mean, that's as simple as that. Like, here, we got these guys, they're injured. But yeah, fam, listen, I'm not disputing the fact that they're injured. That's already understood. The issue is the backups that you have are not good. They're not good enough. So the answer is we got to find better backups. I know that sounds crazy. I don't know if everybody say that. Say, you know what, Q, man? We got backups. They're just not cutting it. Yeah, they're not cutting it. So let's get their asses out of there and find some better ones. And then when the guys, your starters come back, finally, then you'll have your offensive line will be more enforced. It'll be reinforced with the better backups. I'm not, we know Nick Saldiveri is basically a rookie. He didn't play any time in this rookie year, and he's now out there trying to play. He looks terrible. He, lost sometimes. That's to be expected with him because he didn't play nothing. He didn't do a damn thing in the first year, but the layup there and been hurt the whole year. And these other guys are just career backups. So, and some of these guys like Ali Udo, man, he was so bad in that first time he got out there and got beat that they haven't put his ass in there since. They moved Landon Young in there. They put in. So, like I said, man, I don't see how the Saints are going to pull this off. Okay, we counting on some of these guys, but fam, just because these guys get back don't mean that you can't lose them again. What's his name? Nick Saldiveri is a guy that was playing and then he gets hurt. Lucas Patrick was a guy that was in and out of the lineup over these last 5 games, dealing with issues and injuries, getting hurt, going back in, getting hurt, going back, going. Obviously, you banged up there. You want to be able to keep a flowing force of backups there to that position. And that's what the practice squad is too. We got guys on the practice squad. There's a 9-year veteran the Saints have on the practice squad. It's a 9-year veteran offensive lineman they got on the practice squad. And we was taking a good look at that guy last week or the week before when he got out there. He ain't look like all that. Now, of course, learning the system, he just been here for what? A guy been here for like 2 or 3 weeks, I want to say. But my goodness, man, they just look so bad on the tape. They look so bad. They look like Clint Kubiak has dialed down his offense, dumbed it down, and them offensive linemen still lost. We don't have a chance if we don't run the football. It's just simple as that. Thank you, Nola Baby KC, man. Shout out to you for being a member for 38 months. Appreciate
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Pam says Saldiveri means he who is hurt in a yeah. Saldiveri. Yes, indeed. Saldiveri means he who's hurt all the time. Yes. So can somebody break down? I need some of our translators. Pam is obviously a good translator. Can we get some of our great Saint Think Tank translators to translate? We got Nick Saldiveri's name. Could somebody tell me what Ali Udo means in whatever language that is? Could somebody tell me what Ali Udo's name means? What does Ali Udo means, man? I mean, could somebody tell me that? All right, back to DA.
It's a lot of times guys just not break it down. I mean, prior to it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that kind of go along with some of it's not breaking down. Some of it's breaking down too soon. Some of it's creating population to the ball. I mean, I just think there's a lot of fundamental things that we need to work on to improve in that area.
Is there anything else you could tell us about where Chris Olave is in the protocol?
I really can't. I mean, per league rules, all I can say is he's in the protocol.
Is it that he can only progress during practice day, are the practices the marker for his progression?
Well, there's certain steps that you have to go through, and part of that is, practice related. So, but he's in the protocol. He's progressing through the protocol. We're going to take those steps, as defined by the league, and then we'll go from there. I think there's a chance, yeah.
What did you guys see from Derek the other day to make him doubtful rather than just not having progress?
Yeah, well, I think the question was, could he come in and be the emergency third quarterback, if that was needed. And so therefore he was doubtful in that regard. I don't think it was ever a question of, is he going to go in and play, as the starter or anything like that. It was more, could he get to a point where he could be the emergency third force? And we just weren't at that point yet.
You mentioned communication being a part of the challenge in the run defense. Has that been a part of the challenge on the offensive line as well? With
yeah, maybe a little bit. Just in terms of making sure we're getting to the right people. But I don't know that it's been, as much about that as just, kind of the fundamental and technique of being able to get to those spots that we need to be able to get to.
With communication and the defensive working, where's that
Is it the linebackers not communicating with the front? Like, how does that kind of all
Well,
work?
look, communication's a two-way street, right? I mean, somebody has to be talking and somebody has to be listening, not just hearing, but listening, and that's every good defense that I've ever been a part of,
You ain't lying.
starts with the ability to communicate. And so I don't think we're doing that at the level that we need to right now.
There were a couple of occasions.
He ain't lying.
There were three runners off the left side, pass rushers off the left side. What brought that on? Like, what creates that?
Well, look, I think they did a good job of, identifying, the scheme and the protection. And in some of those, you're going to have a free runner off the edge. And so you have to be hot, and you got to know, where your hot reads are. I think that's an area that, Spencer's only going to get better at as he gets more and more reps.
Go on, you take care of the cake. You possum puss, get that punch out there or you'll get one from me. Go on.
Interesting, man. All at the same time, watching and listening to Dennis Allen. The Chargers are ultimately playing tonight. It's a double Monday night matchup. Baltimore at halftime, 17-10 on Tampa Bay, and the Chargers, who are the team the Saints play, they're just started. They not just started 12:08 into the second quarter. They have the ball, 4th and 8 there, so it's 0-0. They're at Arizona. So that'll be the next club that the Saints face off against, that Los Angeles Chargers club, who are 3-2, and they're looking to try to do something against the Cardinals, who are 2-4. They're not very good, but those two teams, when they usually go at it, they actually compete pretty decently. It'll be interesting, man, to say the least, because they just got a field goal there, so they up 3-0 on Arizona. It'll be really interesting. We'll get into all of that as we get into the week, but it'll be very interesting to see how this happens, because because it's two big problems the Saints have why they're a 2-5 team. 2-5. It's hard for me to even get that. It's really difficult for me even think that Saints end up here at 2-5. 7 weeks into the NFL season, the Saints were 2-5 and on a 5-game losing streak. They take on a Charger team that's 3-2. It's gonna be, and then they have to travel out there to Los Angeles to take them on. So it's going to be interesting. And then, of course, if they don't get that victory, then they most certainly should be able to beat the Carolina Panthers. I mean, that's the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL. I mean, they're not as, maybe the Patriots. Patriots on a 6-game losing streak. Cleveland's on a 5-game losing streak. The Saints is on a 5-game losing streak. So and Carolina's on a 4-game losing streak. So there's a lot of lose streaking teams. The worst team in the league, more than likely, probably the Patriots. Patriots are 1-6 and on a 6-game slide. Jets on a 4-game losing streak. They're 2-5 like the Saints. You could factor all of the injuries, and we could talk all we want. It is most certainly a long season, but the next 4 games will tell you all you need to know about the Saints, because 2-5, 5-game losing streak. If they can't figure a way to run the football, how do you win? I mean, how do you win indeed? You see what I'm saying? How do you win? I don't see how you win if you can't run the ball or you can't stop the run. How do you win? Because the Saints is 2 things that I've seen from watching the Saints this season, especially over the last 5 games, is they can't run the ball, especially over the last 3 games. They can't run the ball and they can't stop the run. You can't win games if you can't do that. So they would have to successfully stop the run, get pressure, because they wasn't getting enough. They get pressure, but they don't get home. They don't get sacks. So they will have to get home. They got to sack the quarterback, Herbert. They got to stop him from running the ball. And the injuries is one thing, but like I said, fundamentally speaking, when you're banged up like that, you got to go back to what you know. And if you can't run the ball, yo, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Pamela says Udo means sour garbage in Swahili. Oh no, Udo. That's what I seen. It says Ali Udo means can't block. Okay, there you go. Thank y'all for my translators out there. It's going to be interesting, man. AKZ says tear it all down, man. I don't see how you're going to do that because you see the money locks you in. It's you forced to stick with what you got because even if you know, it's no way you can get from up under car. You'll lose. I'm gonna just span into the future right quick and tell you my thoughts on it. Not about the Saints season, but how rebuilding the team looks like for real. With the money issues the Saints have, they're gonna have to work the draft and the undrafted free agency market. That's just how it's gonna go. That's what they're counting on. That's the Saints' ace in the hole is not the draft, it's the undrafted market. I told you that's the secret sauce. For people saying, Q, what you think? That's the secret sauce. The Saints, you can't take that away from them. They hit on the undrafted guys. The undrafted guys are cheap until they get a new contract, like they make their money and get a new contract. That's why the Saints save a lot of money all over the team. Their kicker, their punter, many of their special teams guys, a lot of their reserves a lot of these guys are undrafted guys and they are cheap. No disrespect, but their contracts are a lot cheaper than going to free agency and finding the guy. That's how the Saints are going to do it. They're going to try to whip the free agency thing. You know what I mean? They're going to go through the undrafted free agents, the college free agents out of the draft, stuff like that. That's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to do it. And they're going to do that. That's the way out. But that's how they're going to underpin the team after Demario Davis them leave. And what messes it up, if Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, and these guys get hurt, that messes up everything. See, the plan is for those guys to be healthy and a contributor to what's going on with the Saints. But if those guys are hurt and they eating up all that money and they're not contributing, you in trouble. And that's what's happening to the Saints right now. The injuries are taking the high-priced players that they have off the field. And they're currently setting up, like right now, like the future plan, like they gave Pete Werner all that money, and Pete Werner's hurt. So that's why I was saying wait on giving them the money, because the thing is, now that Adebo's hurt, do you think the Saints sign him? Let me answer that question for me. Let me use y'all crystal balls for a second. Y'all throw y'all questions in the chat too. Put Q in front of them too, so I could tell the difference between a comment and a question, please. And y'all throw y'all questions because I'm about to get ready to leave and head to my next stream, Pelican Post Game Report. But me take some questions. I'll do my best to answer them. But that's what I'm looking at, like future-wise. The Saints are locked in. They're locked in to these players on the team. So that's why I keep saying the best way you would want to win is you got to, regardless or not, you got to take a hard stance. If you're the coach of the team, you got to repair the lines. You got to repair the offensive line. You got to get better backups. Now, Scantling was a solid signing. I approve of the Scantling. I approve of that message. But we should have had tryouts with offensive linemen here this week. The players were resting. Dennis Allen need to rest. He ain't doing no work. He ain't out there running around doing nothing. You coaching. These other guys are putting their body in the shredder. But you not. You ain't doing nothing but talking and yelling and pointing. So no, you get your ass in there and make some phone calls. Get some of these offensive linemen and backups in here or guys and try some guys out. Do your best. We got to get back to running the ball. That's the only answer. Just try to get some of these wins together. And then as a defensive coordinator, his defense is falling through the flow. This is a very telltale sign that the Saints the team is slipping. His control over the team is slipping in terms of the team listening to him, because all he had was his defense. And if his defense is slipping, that is a sign there. Now, if the Saints lose against the Chargers, do they fire Dennis Allen? The answer is no, because they know who is behind the Chargers. It's the Panthers. So if they lose to the Chargers, they'll, that's one thing. But Carolina's the next. So if they can muster up enough to beat the Chargers, they'll be able to do something with the Panthers. So if you beat the Chargers, more than likely you'll have a quick 2-game turnaround. You see what I'm saying? You can be able to kind of get a little right with that. You can get some right. You can get some right real quick. You go 3-5, and then you beat the Panthers. You go 4-5. You 1 game under 500. You back quick. A quick 2-point turnaround. I mean, a two-game turnaround real quick. If you can go out west, beat the Chargers, and then come, and then go out to Carolina. So you go east to west, and then take Carolina on, beat Carolina. You there. But the thing is, the only way Dennis Allen gets fired, if he loses to the Chargers and the Panthers, they'll put him in the street, because the Panthers, that'll be the team quit on them, because they should be able to beat the Panthers. They should be able to beat the Panthers. No disrespect to the Panthers. But if you lose to the Panthers, that'll put you in the street. There's no justification for that. That should put you in the street. Plus, that means that you will be on a 7-game losing streak. That'll put you in the street. So the thing is, beating the Los Angeles Chargers, then you got Carolina that quick. You get 2 wins. That makes you 4-5. Then you come home for 2 games. Who is it against? One of them against what's the first home game? I forgot. Oh, Atlanta. You got Atlanta. You got the second game against Atlanta, and then the next game after that, a home game against Jameis Winston, because Deshaun Watson ain't gonna be that. Deshaun Watson got broke up, got an injury. He done for the year. So you'll see Jameis Winston in the Dome in Week 11. So that's the next 4 games: Chargers, Panthers on the road, home games against Falcons and Browns. Don't make it easy. Jameis is not going to make it. So over the next 4 games will decide a lot for the Saints. They can turn it all the way around before the bye if they can get it going. It could be Chargers if they can run the ball, but I have zero faith in them doing it because they're not bringing anybody. Dennis Allen told you he waiting on guys to come back from injury. I'm like, man, them guys can get injured again. Improve the backups while you got a chance. But it is Dennis Allen after all, so it is what it is. All right, who that daddy says the team has quit on DA, Big Q. Yeah, in many ways you see it. What's up, brother Derek? He said they could get him on. They could get him on deal. Get him on the deal. He says he was looking like he did in his second year. We'll see. Gregory says judo translates from Igbo, meaning you get what you pay. You get what you pay for. All right, you went kind of deep on that. What's up, T Dirty? Shout out to you, brother. Says losers don't get rest. That's right. That's right. Saints should have locked up Paulson, then use him as a trade to get back picks. Now it's probably not going to happen. Now he walks. Again, another draft player that was productive walk out the door. But that's a good point. You might be able to get him on cheap because he hurt. I don't know. But then again, does he fit in the long range plans of the Saints from a monetary standpoint? Really, he monetarily speaking, this team's so jacked up defensively. I mean, monetary is hard to even much string it together, but most players don't fit that. That's why he was signing players to 1-year deals. He didn't want to get beyond that. They're trying to get out of it over the next 2 years, he said, but it's actually going to be 3 if you look at the numbers. MSFest says Q and DA mind, we would be satisfied if the defense could score 30 points a game. He doesn't need an offense. Okay. All right. Rosin 2012 says Q, the draft and undrafted free agents would work if we could keep the key our players, which we may not have next year. The draft and you would work if we can keep our key players. I get what you're saying, brother. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see how it all works, man. There's players that contracts are going to be in 2 years. Chris Olave's contract is coming up. You got to forget Chris Olave's deal is coming up soon. Rashid Shaheed had an extension, but his extension is going to be coming up in a couple of years. You know, what is it? What was Rashid? I'm going to have to look it up again. But hell, Rashid Shaheed, they just gave him a little extension. It wasn't nothing far out there. But hell, and it like he's doing it, he putting all this, kicking it right 2 years down the line for a team reset. because they believe that all we need to do is just get to the playoffs, and that'll quiet them down. They're not even talking Super Bowl. That's why a lot of people was saying that about the Saints. Like, man, they scared to even mention it because they're trying to get to the playoffs. They're just trying to get in the playoffs to justify the moves. Because see, in their minds, 3 years of losing would be washed away with one playoff thing, and that's how they think. That's how they got us. Like, it's like, yeah, well, it took us 3 years to get to one thing, but the thing is, the Saints wasn't in that bad a shape over the last 3 years. Well, we shouldn't have been a playoff team. It was just outright incompetence and dumb coaching, the reason why we didn't get where we needed to be. But instead of shifting courses, like making Loomis to get a coach to make this work, he's lazy, he's an idiot, and he sticks to these people like his because he's stubborn, and there's nobody challenging him in the organization. They just let him do what he want to do. So since they too stupid and inept to do anything about it, and they believe in this blind man's vision, then we have to correct the ship. We have to perform a certain type of mutiny, I guess you won't call it. We're using these shipping terms. We have to provide a mutiny for the ship and tear it all up, push their old ass off the boat or something. That's what we got to do. Do a mutiny on their ass. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to find Rashid Shaheed's deal. I think his window is like 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, with his little extension. Why the hell I can't see his contract here on here? Yeah, I want to say his little deal was a 2-year extension. Y'all help me out. I can't find it on here for whatever reason. I wonder why they ain't got it listed on there. Yeah. But they let it tell it. They tell it all on here. All right, Chantel says Q. Jameis finally started. I know I seen that. Yeah, he going for the I seen what Jameis said about him, man. Jameis got on there and was passionate about it, you know. He said some good stuff about him. He says we'll throw 5 interceptions, still win. James will be motivated to beat the team. They're gonna win a few games 1 year. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Carla. Yeah, there you go. Rise up to fall down. Yeah, that's the funniest term of the thing. Who that daddy says Q. He says, shoot hope like hell that Jameis doesn't come here and light us up. They got talent, man. Yeah. He says Debo will demand too much money. Yeah. We'll see. Bullet says improving the backups mean forward thinking. I thought that's where we were headed to. I thought we were that type of organization where we were forward thinkers over here. I guess not. With Mickey sitting up there, Mickey jamming up he damming up all of the energy, man. It all stops with Mickey Loomis, doesn't it? All right, let me go back to this, fam. Let me show y'all this too. And I'll try to bring you down, but like I said, understanding that cap situation is very vital. If you go all the way down here, you can see it's a list of dead money the Saints owe. They still owe Andrews Pete $13 million, $13.6 million. Mike Thomas, 11.1 plus, Jameis 3.3 plus, Marcus May 8.1, James Hurst 2.2, Bradley Roby 1.7, $1 million in dead money to Traquan Smith, Kaliki Hudson, A.T. Perry, almost $300,000. Trajan Jeffcoat got money on there. Jermaine Jackson's back on the team, and so is Stallbird, but they got dead money on these guys. So you can see a lot of that, man. And yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on here. And Ramchek's cap number is $12.2 million. And Ramchek is more than likely going to be done, man, for his career. Very unfortunate, but this was something I thought, damn. But look at Ramchek's numbers, and they just got him shelved here. But look at his numbers. Cut his base salary down to 1.2, but look in 31. As he turns 31 in 2025, he got $18 million and $19 million owed to Ryan Ramczyk. Well, why don't they just get rid of him, Q? Because the cap hit to get rid of him will be $29 million. And then when he turns 32 and 26, it'll be $26 million. Cap hit for him to get rid of him. But then again, as an injured player, it's something where if he can't come back, there is a designation that they can put on Ramczyk where they can kind of recoup and get from up under some of that money. But anyway, It is. That's some of the stuff right there. But anyway, like I said, man, this is going to be a interesting week, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about going into to this week here, previewing the Chargers matchup. Like I said, they're playing tonight, as you guys know. They got a game right now with the Cardinals in Arizona. The Cardinals are up 7-3. Baltimore is beating Tampa Bay 20-10 right now in the third quarter. So Baltimore might do the Saints a favor and beat Tampa Bay, and both of those teams lose, which will help the Saints gain ground if they can beat the Chargers, who are currently losing 7-3 to the Cardinals. On the short week, we got to travel a little bit. So, if we can run the ball and stop the run, we might be able to do something. But two very vital things to consider in weeks. My God, man. Weeks number 8 is we worrying about we can't run the ball and we can't stop the run. Those are two drastically difficult things to deal with in this late portion of the year, man. That's always almost in the middle of the season. So we'll see. Dennis Allen said some guys are going to come back. Hopefully we can run the football. If we can run the ball, we have a chance, man. We can run. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Anyway, fam, we'll get ready to get on that. That's my time. Listen, I appreciate you guys for being in the stream. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. And by the by, please feel free to check out our sponsors, man. If you need a good cell phone service at a very reasonable price, check out Mint Mobile. The link is in the description section below. Check out all the good deals for smartphones, man. It's a tough economy right now, and until things turn around, save some money on your cell phone. Look at the budget there and check it out, man. They can really help out, man. It's good phones at really inexpensive prices. You'll be really surprised how really inexpensive their rates are, man. So check them out. That's why I had them. They were a good fit for us and the sponsor, because I'm trying to save people money, man. I know how tough it is. Teach Henley's also a sponsor of the platform as well. This is men care products as well. So ladies, fellas out there, man, get your game on, man, with Teach Henley. I think it's a 20 to 40% discount on your purchase. And of course, Bet Online. Bet Online is also a good sponsor for the show as well, for people. If they can't make money with the Saints, perhaps they could do it the opposite way. If losing gonna cost, if you got to impact it spiritually, it shouldn't have to hit you financially. So bet online. But anyway, with that being said, I'm out, man. Listen, I'm gonna go over to the Pelican Post Game Report stream for some of our family members. We'll be over there talking about Trey Murphy signing and previewing the Pels. That's right, this upcoming Wednesday, fam, the Pels will be taking on the Chicago Bulls. We'll be over there talking about on Pelican Post Game Report, me, DC, and Lex. And also, we'll be on the stream tomorrow for our Patreon and YouTube membership family. We'll be on Patreon, breaking it down on coming up on Tuesday. So we'll go over all of the latest stuff and break down some film. We'll look at Saints' newest pickup. We'll look at that and see if we can go there, man, and break some stuff down. So anyway, with that being said, fam, we're going to get out on that. I appreciate all y'all for being on the stream. Much love to the fam. Who dat? And I'm out.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this and I'm a who dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet online. The game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and